Hey everybody, welcome to another 10-minute Marvel video. I'm Petter, and today we're talking about something different in my comic book collection. So I've showed off a bunch of the comics that I've picked up before, but there's one element of my comic book collection that I haven't really talked about that much. Two, really. The first one being what I collected or bought while I was actively reading the issues that I picked up. Now, with the likes of Marvel Unlimited, that's where I'm going to grab what I'm reading. But the other part is graded comics. So, pieces of comic book history, like this one here from 1980, which I said the wrong year the first time I was trying to record this. I said, 30 years ago. No, 44 years ago. The first Moon Knight comic. Not the first appearance. I believe he had appeared in other things before. But issue number 1 of Moon Knight here, 8.0 grade. This is one where I picked it up because it's one of those little pieces of history comics that you can pick up. Some of them are pieces of history that I have graded. Some of them are just because I really like the cover, like this one. This is what's known as a virgin cover, in that you see everything going on with the front of this one. This has nothing. It is completely clean. 9.8. That is the highest grade I believe that CGC goes. But you have this, just gorgeous cover for Rogue and Gambit number 2. So not just Rogue, but a Gambit comic. And then on the back side here you have some of the relevant stuff like rating, issue number, variant edition, comic book number, all sorts of things like that. Next one up, this is one that I would love to get the original printing of, but this is a facsimile one printed in 2020. The first appearance of Gambit. So this is a reprint of that, but 9.8 grade on the original would probably be $1,000 or more. So right now I'm just very happy to have a facsimile. Facsimile just is going to be the reprinted edition of this comic. It is truly reprinted. Like, this is an old-timey ad for Konami on the back. But with my love for Gambit, one that I obviously wanted to pick up. This one here is actually very recent. Spider-Gwen Annual number 1 from November 2023, so less than a year old. But I thought I like the cover composition on this one, where you have the ballet aspect, well, you still have the Spider-Gwen suit aesthetic for it as well. So it falls into line really with that Spider-Man character. They're always trying to balance their normal life with their superheroing. We also have, now this is going to be a virgin cover of Wolverine 40 from February of this year. We have X-23 on the front, but more than that, you have characters like Daredevil, Storm, Wolverine, Jubilee, Cap, Hulk, Ghost Rider. So many different characters in the stained glass itself that I think that it just works nicely as a cover. It uses a lot of black to space it out. Then we have another Spider-Gwen cover. This one is from Spider-Gwen number 1 from 2015. Just not a variant cover, anything like that. It is just again, a first issue. So much like the Moon Knight, this one, I mean, I love the color on this and just the vibrancy of the color, as well as how you lose Ghost Spider-Gwen in the background here. Like you can't actually follow the line of her arm on there. You understand the pose and like your brain kind of fills it in, but that line isn't actually there to show off her arm. Then we have Gambit #1 from 2022, Virgin cover, Peach Momoko artwork. I love Peach Momoko's artwork. You know that if you've checked out the other videos. And so this one with the Virgin cover, so nothing on it. It looks awesome. So I really like it, and I like having Gambit and Rogue on there. Plus, then you have the unique back cover. Speaking of Gambit, we have Gambit #1 from 1993. 1993, long enough ago that's 31 years. This one, it's a #1 issue of a Gambit comic run, and it has embossed, it has the gold on there. It just looks great. This is actually one that I want to read the comic run for, because it delves into Gambit's history with like the crime organization and his growing up. Then we have X of Swords Creation. This is the #1 of that. You should be able to recognize the artist on this. It's Peach Momoko. On this one, we have Magic sitting in a battlefield, really. There's skulls, like this is an old battlefield, probably hell. Looks like swords sticking out of the ground. Of course, she's sitting there with her sword as well. So I really dig the cover on that one. Peach Momoko, just favorite comic book cover artist. Then we have an older one here. 1981, January 1981. This one, iconic, Days of Future Past. I believe, Chris Claremont's story. But the cover is just, like I said, it's an iconic cover. I got an 8.0 on this one. I'm never even considered getting a 9.8 or looking for anything above a 9, because those cost over $1,000, and that's just ridiculous. 8.0 is plenty for me to own a piece of history, and you get your Lego ad on the back. And then we have Spider-Man #700. I actually have a Spider-Man 700 variant cover in my collection from when I was reading comics, so I don't know what condition that one is still in. But this one, I looked at the cover and I was like, this is a fun cover. It's only 9.6, so a little bit less, but I like it. I like the fact that you have the characters down here. You have Spider-Man. They're kind of all waiting for Spider-Man to show up for New Year's. Or Peter. He's not at the party, but he's out there fighting the Green Goblin. I just really dig and find this cover entertaining and like nice in what it does. Then we have Miles Morales Spider-Man #25. This one is just a variant cover. Nothing particular about this issue or anything that made it a must buy, but you have so many people who have worked on this comic over time. Issue #25, it's kind of a big deal just to have something that runs that long, but I do really like the cover. I like how really the cover goes this way as he's shooting across the skyline, but it uses that, again, white space. I love the silhouettes. of things on there, or of the buildings on there, that works well. And then I left my favorite for last. This is X-Men 24 from 1993. Gambit and Rogue. We obviously know I love Gambit and Rogue, so this cover, them about ready to kiss, is a great one. And yeah, I just like the way this one looks a ton. It's, again, an iconic cover, and for me, it's that piece of Marvel history, particularly tied to two of the characters in the X-Men who are some of my favorite characters. But with that, let me know what you thought of this graded collection. I do want to get some of them that I already have I own graded. I'm not sure anything will top this one for me, but let me know what your favorite was down in the comment section below. And as I go through some of these videos and talk about different comics in my collection, let me know if there are some where you're like, oh, you should get that one graded, or you'd love to see something like that graded, because I do want to grade some and get some returns and just see kind of what different grades are on comics. But with that, appreciate you watching. If you enjoy this content, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to check out our other content, we have a ton more on the channel. A whole bunch of Agatha All Along content coming out as the show is coming out, and a lot of questions to be asked from that. And if you want to check out our podcast is kind of a longer form where we talk about news, rumors, and then a topic every week. So you can check that out here on YouTube, youtube.com, search for 10 Minute Marvel. Go to the channel and then click on the podcast tab to get caught up, or you can find the podcast wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcasts from. But with that, we'll see you next time.